here at Donington. There is a great battle raging on here, look, between Chris Preen and Elliot Goodman as they drop down towards the chicane. It's for third place at the moment, this. Dominic Jackson, race leader. Jérôme de Sadelier, the man that's doing the chasing in the race and in the championship. It's really turning out to be a great battle between those two. Chris Short, number 75, has had a good run this weekend. His real debut in the Radical Challenge, and he now looks to make a move on the inside of Goodman, going around Redgate. Onto the top of the Craner curves they go. And Goodman is the one losing outlook, because up and past him has gone Preen, but Goodman just gets his elbows out and staves off that attack from Chris Short. Through McLean's they turn. Now the run up the hill towards Coppice. The clock ticks on down this restarted race, and we're looking at 18 laps, assuming we get through without any intervention. Can Goodman fight back? He's getting a good run, and that's the leader. That's Dominic Jackson going way, way wide through the gravel, down at the old hairpin. He's a long, long way off, and now he's got to try and keep the momentum and drive out the other side. But is that it? The car has come to a halt. Yes, Dominic Jackson is going no further. That means, therefore, it's going to be Jérôme de Sadelier into the lead of the race. The battles on track are continuing, and everybody's about to vault up the order by one place. But this is the new lead battle. Jérôme de Sadelier is ahead now of Jack Constable, and Dominic Jackson's car 14 laps into the race in the gravel, going no further. Downhill they come. So de Sadelier it is, it has the advantage. He comes through the old hairpin. Jack Constable chasing on behind him. This is an absolutely perfect result potentially now for de Sadelier. In fairness to Constable, though, he is staying with him, isn't he? He's not letting him get away. They make the run now through that right-hand corner of McLean's, up the hill towards the double apex right of Coppice, and the timing screens are showing a message of a 5-second penalty for Jérôme de Sadelier, number 5, the leader, for track limit abuse. So Jérôme de Sadelier leads on the road, but add 5 seconds to his time. He'll drop back behind Jack Constable. That is not what he needs. If the message can get through to him, he will have to push. But there, look, he goes off the track again. That's exactly the thing that's getting the race officials all upset with his driving. Not only that, but Constable is on the attack anyhow. He doesn't need to force the issue because he's going to win on corrected times, but he wants to win on the road. Down to Redgate. Through the traffic they go there. Look up on the inside of Nick Hull's car. Nick for the Full Throttle Motorsport team, running in the teams class. You've got solo drivers and teams, the shared cars, but downhill, de Sadelier still leads on the road, but I can't see on this pace that he's going to pull out 5 seconds and a bit. Up through McLean's, on the limit then, flick right is the race leader, Jérôme de Sadelier. The Swiss driver based in Stuttgart will have got the message now that he needs to push. He wasn't exactly hanging around before either, was he? The Hart GT run car of Jack Constable there in second spot, staying with him. And if Jack has got the message, he'll know exactly how to drive for the race win now. Right and left, through the chicane they come, and now up towards the timing line once more. So far, so good for the race leader Jérôme de Sadelier, but that's 5-second penalty is going to be his undoing. He'll fare better than Jackson, who is out of the race and not scoring. Jérôme de Sadelier has done the fastest lap. That's another 2 points, so that's going to help as well in the championship. It's going to be really tight going into the last round. For third place in the meantime, Chris Preen, Elliot Goodman, Chris Short, they're all still squabbling here. Out of Redgate, onto the top of the Craner curves, through Hollywood once more. But right now, is Chris Preen going to be able to hang on just with a couple of lengths advantage, looking fractionally stronger. And a big, big lose there, around and off all over the curb goes Chris Short. That is the biggest and wildest 360-degree spin we've had for a long, long time. He gets it in the right direction and survives. Out of the chicane, checkered flag at the ready. To win on the road is going to be Jérôme de Sadelier, but the margin is only 0.6 of a second or so. So it means that the win will be that of Jack Constable's. Jack Constable then takes the win. Jérôme de Sadelier look to celebrate as though the message hadn't got through. In third place, it's Chris Preen, just ahead of Elliot Goodman, and Chris Short will be fifth, albeit some way back after the spin. Jack Constable the winner from Jerome de Sadelier on corrected times. Chris Preen takes third ahead of Elliot Goodman, Chris Short fifth, Spencer Bourne rounding out the top six ahead of John McLeod, Marcello Marathiotto eighth from John and Brian Cordwell in 9th and 10th places. But Dominic Jackson, a non-finisher. That is very bad news as far as the championship is concerned. That's going to give us now a margin of just 2 points with some crude maths going into the last race. However, first of all, Jack Constable has some celebrating to do. He is the winner in race 2 of the weekend at Donington.
One of the harder ones this season, but we'll take what we're given. I wouldn't have minded Jerome winning, but it is what it is, and we'll take the win. I'm not going to complain.
Towards the end, Jack, I was catching up to Jack, and once I got ahead, he was really quick, putting a huge amount of pressure on me. And, I pushed hard, not in a bad place in the championship now, so it's about keeping it together, pushing hard tomorrow, and let's see what we can do.
I was very pleased. I got a good start. It was a little bit lonely for a while during the race, and then I struggled towards the end with tyre temp, and I had Elliot Goodman and Chris Short to defend for 5 laps. They made it hard work for me, but it was worth it.
So we are ready for the championship decider with 7 wins apiece. Now Dominic Jackson and Jerome de Sadelier, they come to this last race with 2 points between them. But Jerome de Sadelier is on the front row. Dominic Jackson will start 15th on the grid. It is going to be an absolutely fascinating race, this. An extra 20 seconds in the pits to be served by de Sadelier, an extra 10 to be served in the pits by Dominic Jackson. So Jackson has got work to do, but anything can happen in a 15-minute race. We've seen that not only have drivers had their own incidents, like Jackson in the gravel in race 2, but there's always the track limit penalty to take into consideration. That did for Jerome de Sadelier in the second race of the weekend. So 50 minutes now before we know who is going to be the champion, and we are set to go racing. Out of the chicane they come. The light will blink in a moment to get this championship decider underway, and it's go. Good start by Jack Constable then on pole position. On the outside line, diving down towards Redgate Corner is Jerome de Sadelier. He brakes as late as he dares, looks for the grip on the outside line. Now they've all started on wet tyres. There is Dominic Jackson going through, the car having gained the little yellow fluorescent highlighters so the team can pick it out. Somebody else going way wide all over the grass and the gravel. That was the Russian driver's car, Zakharov, and Fezulin as downhill they plunge for the first time. So a big slide in the mid-pack already. We've got drama. John Cordwell has got it wrong. Rod Goodman is involved as well. He's not the only one. There are cars all over the road, and that is on the opening lap of the race. Wet tyres, yes, but cold tyres, admittedly. Now the road is damp and greasy. As you can see, it's not fully wet. There's a little bit of spray there, but pretty much all of the leading runners electing to go for the wet tyres. But don't be surprised if you don't get tyre changes on the pit stops. There is Dominic Jackson trying to work his way up now from 15th. That's where he started. So the race leaders come down the hill and to the chicane. They've got a yellow flag waving. We've got a safety car. Yes, safety car at the end of lap 1. Now, the leaders had managed to bolt away, but the gaps are all going to bunch up now. The race is being neutralised because we need to get cars out of an awkward place down through the Craner curves. And there, look, Rod Goodman's entry is hoiked out of the way. We're good to go racing. The top 3 then all bunched up with 28 Elliot Goodman on the back of Constable, on the back of Jerome de Sadelier. He is the race leader, and right now he is the championship leader as we go racing once more. Race underway again, and right now it is good for de Sadelier. If he stays where he is, and that's a big ask admittedly in a long race like this with the pit stop penalty, but he's on target to win the championship. So there, number 4, Dominic Jackson, has got to be on his toes. He gets ahead of Spencer Bourne. Number 8, the man from St Helier in Jersey, drops a spot as they go round Redgate, and now down through the Craners. So Jackson edging his way forward, keeping out of trouble. Another place gain, dives through on the inside line there. Look, goes ahead of John McLeod. So Jackson, 2 places gained on this restart. Tick, tick. More points go with the places. edging his way forward, which is what he needs to do in this race, as the cars now sprint their way into the right-hander of McLean's corner. 98 is Joe Stables, the man from York, but he is about to lose a spot possibly. Brian Cordwell has a look up on the inside, and Dominic Jackson sees a gap and goes for it. Jackson will go through on the inside line. So now look, as the race wears on, Jackson getting a little bit more toey about this, getting ever more committed, prepared to take more risks. Tyres up to temperature, gaps open up, he seizes those opportunities and he goes through. He's got past 2 cars in that move, and actually Stables fended off Cordwell in the long run. Over the line they come then, down towards Redgate once again. So Jerome de Sadler, it is, leading the way. He has the advantage right now. The sun is coming out, that's going to dry the road, and it could well be that when we get to that pit window, drivers elect to switch onto slick tyres. The last thing they need when there's a championship on the line like this is the fact that the track conditions are changeable and you might need to change tyres. There is Jackson up the inside and there's contact. He bounces off the side of Chris Short. Jackson deep into the old hairpin, but Chris Short off the road. And he may not get out of there. Dominic Jackson caught up in it. Whoa. Now, will the officials have a look at that? Will any penalty come for the contact between Jackson and Short? That's something else to factor in now. So, off the road, Chris Short in the gravel. What's that going to do to the race? Let's see after the break.